Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Angela, and we are married
And bored. Welcome, everybody.
Love is in the air.
It is. It's that week, isn't it?
Yes. Whether you celebrate Valentine's Day or not, we're here to wish you a happy Valentine's Day.
And talk about the most romantic the most romantic thing you can do on Valentine's Day is play board games.
Playing this board game we're going to talk about.
Man, I took me a while to get those words out of my mouth. But yeah, hey, welcome to episode 9.
9. Ooh, we're 1 away from 10.
I know, the big 1-0.
You know what? But we're not going to save the best for 10. We're going to give you some good stuff
Yeah,
in episode 9.
We have good tent, as they say. You don't want to say content. You just call it tent.
Oh, is that how the kids do it?
That's what we do.
All right. Well, let's get right into it. What's up with you, Christian?
Oh, man, what is going on? What's up, guys? There's not a lot going on, but there's also a lot.
That's not what the people want to hear.
But there's a lot going on.
Okay. Tell us the not a lot that is a lot.
Yeah, so a quick update from the last couple episodes. I had talked about a 2020 game goal to play a Star Wars RPG. Last episode, or even the one before that, I was talking about studying to learn how to play this thing and figure it out. Well, we did it. I had some guys over from work, some friends from college and high school come over, and we played the Star Wars Edge of Empire beginners game.
Woo!
And it's called the beginner's game. It's not really like easier. It's just easier to get started. There's a lot of rules.
What does that mean?
There's a lot of rules. And this one just it walks you through how to play.
Okay.
It was fun. I had a good time. My friend Jason had a really good time. And I had a couple more friends over. They didn't have as good a time.
I think they were definitely in it at the beginning.
And then it got long.
And then it got long.
Because you were peeping in on us from time to time.
Yes. I was not going to play.
Right.
But I was going to hover.
Yeah, you didn't really do that either, though.
No, not hover in the same room. Just wanted to see, like, what it was like.
You've been anti-RPG game since we started our board game thing.
I have been. I have.
Well, maybe this game that we're talking about later will change that.
I know.
But yeah, I had a really good time playing the Star Wars one. I would love to do it again. I really enjoy just reading all the books and everything that has to go into, the backstories of creating these missions and games. And it's Star Wars, and we know that I like Star Wars, so I could do it forever. So that was really fun. I'm looking forward to doing it again. Hopefully I get the chance to do that. And, we'll see.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. And
for
then,
you.
Yeah, it is. It's very awesome. And then we, this past weekend, we went on a little game buying spree.
Oh, my goodness. Someone stop us.
I feel like it's funny. I feel like the past couple months, or maybe just like mostly January, I was like, there's no good games coming out. Like, I don't feel like there's much that I really need to get. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there are games we want to talk about for the podcast. So there are some on our radar that we're looking forward to.
But we own some of the ones we want to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
So...
And then this weekend, we were just like, you know what? I want to go get this game. And then we went to the game store, and we came home with more than just that one game.
Yep. We sure did.
So thank you everyone who gave us money for Christmas. Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa.
This episode is brought to you by...
Parents.
Yeah, parents.
So yeah, we bought Root. We bought Undaunted, the Normandy game. I bought a new Marvel expansion pack. It's a villain scenario.
The Wrecking Crew.
Villain scenario. Totes looking forward to playing that one. Angela picked up little smaller games. You picked up what?
The Mind and Gunshun Cleaver.
Yep, Gesundheit.
That's so clever.
Yeah, it's a fun dice game that we actually learned on a work retreat last year.
It's a roll and write, so
yeah,
I like it.
It's right up your alley because there's a lot of numbers and math involved. Mm-hmm. It's not up my alley. It's mostly just like in my cul-de-sac.
Do you want to play Gunshun Cleaver at the same time that we record the podcast?
No, I would not know what to do. No, I think I would be talking way more for this podcast, and you would not be talking because you'd be counting dice. Look it up if you're looking for a quick dice rolling game.
Or if you're going traveling and you need to stick something in a suitcase. That would be a good one, I think.
Yes. So, yeah, it was just really funny that we didn't really buy any for a while. Like, even before Christmas, I don't remember getting all too much. And then it was just like, bam, we bought a lot. And we probably shouldn't have. Well, we did. But you know how it goes. When you have a weird hobby, you just want more.
Yeah.
So
this isn't a weird hobby.
When you have a good hobby you enjoy doing.
Good hobby.
There you go. Ange, what is up with you?
What's up with me? Okay. I think since the last time we spoke here, friends, we have had a game night, Christian and I, over here at our house, not the one with his work people, but over here with a couple who's a non-gaming couple.
Yeah, a couple from my work came over and played games.
They contacted us probably because of our immense fame and just said, hey, we'd love to learn a game or let that be, left it to us to decide what game. And we knew they weren't really gamers. So we probably thought about it way too much, maybe.
Yeah, I think we were like,
what game would be perfect for non-gaming people, but also would keep Christian and I, what am I trying to say? Like,
well, we don't want to play Catan.
No, that's not fun for us. So we have to think of something that's fun for us, but also is fun for people that don't play games, especially strategy games.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who think that Catan is like the limit. Like that's the end of the board game world. Is what is at Target or Walmart. Like they see Catan or Ticket to Ride and they're like, "Yep, I play games." And it's like, and we were there too because that's where we started buying games. But then we realized that there's so much more.
Yes.
A whole new world, if you will, which I've quoted on this podcast before. But
are you going to quote Disney movies?
The whole time.
So we decided on Codenames.
We played Codenames, yes.
Just the traditional, to warm up, I guess you should say. And then we decided on Wingspan. Partly because of who these people are. It just seemed like the mechanics of the game would suit them well. And we like it. You know, Christian and I like it. Plot twist. Wingspan is not as easy to teach to non-gaming people as I thought. It's, in my mind, Wingspan is like, oh, that's a light game. You play that when you don't really want to, like, think too hard. You just want to have like a nice mellow evening. It's not a filler game, but it's just, it's less taxing on my brain, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I thought, oh, this will be great. It'll be a good, like, getting your feet wet in the game, like strategy game world. Not as easy to teach. It took quite a while for our friends to understand what was going on. Not their fault.
It was 100% our fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. We took the way to teach it. We just started from the wrong direction.
Yeah, I guess in my mind it made sense to like tell them what you're going to be scored on at the end. Because I was thinking, wouldn't you want to know what you're aiming for? But the board, and maybe that part was fine, I don't know. But the board, it was very overwhelming for them to look down at the player board and know what to do.
Yeah.
So eventually, we did get into a rhythm.
Yeah. And it was really fun.
And it was fun, and I think they've said to you since they enjoyed themselves and we didn't scare them off. So eventually it all worked out and we had fun. And actually, Christian and I were the third and fourth score.
Yeah. Well,
So-
whenever I see this guy at work now, he makes bird noises at me.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah. So he had a good time.
But I realized, things are not necessarily in the same category when you're talking about a light versus heavy game.
Yeah, and maybe
non-gamers.
we'll like rethink how we approach teaching games too.
Sure.
Because like for me, when I even play games, like I don't really care if I win. I'm just in it for the ride. It's not that big a deal.
It hurts my heart when you
I know,
say that.
and I think that's why you maybe started with that.
Yeah.
But just to take them along, how to play, and it doesn't matter what the outcome is. Maybe that is a better way to do it in the future. I don't know.
We'll see.
Probably works for different people. So
All right, guys.
That's how
Well,
it
that's all our news is for this episode.
yeah,
Huh?
yeah, not much going on other than all of that.
It's just a bunch of little news.
Yeah. Well, this week is a very special week, Angela.
It is.
On Friday, it's
Valentine's Day.
And we are going to talk about a game that fits in with that theme perfectly.
Stay tuned. This episode is sponsored by Showit. Hey, Christian, why do we love Showit?
Well, we love it because we are terrible at designing websites.
That is true.
And we were able to make our site using Showit in a couple hours.
Yeah, if you're stuck in like some boring website template, you need to check out Showit and experience what they have to offer. It's really simple. It's drag and drop. And our website, if you've never been there, is beautiful, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, we use Showit to make it, and you can get started for free. Showit.co. Check it out. Well, what are we talking about this weekend?
We are talking about the game Fog of Love,
Fog of Love.
romantic comedy as a game.
That is literally what it says on the box, I think. It is
Yes.
a romantic comedy board game.
Guys, let me explain this one to you. Fog of Love is a 2-player game. You will create and take on the role of 2 dynamic characters who meet, date, potentially fall in love, and, of course, face challenges. It is mostly cooperative, but it can get a little competitive depending on how the game unfolds.
Yeah, so how could it be both?
Well, you have destinies. Okay. So let me explain. You begin the game by creating a character. Your character is gonna have a unique occupation. They're gonna have features and traits. The occupation and features are accessible to both players. The traits are hidden. The scenario is going to determine how the two of you met, but from there you're going to have scenes that you play to control where the relationship goes, and how you react to the scenes will move you up or down on certain personality markers and certain, what are they called? Hearts? Love?
Yeah, it's like your love meter.
Love a meter. And eventually, at the end, you're going to reveal your destiny that you've chosen and any secrets you may have been hiding throughout the game. And you will see if your love endures.
Yeah.
So I guess it could be competitive because you could have traits and secrets that are hidden that are in direct opposition to the person sitting across from you.
Yeah, and even some of the destinies are
To break up.
are very different. So a lot of them are to stay together, and a handful of them are to leave your partner. All the scenarios that we played, we remained together, but we had the opportunity, if we wanted to end the relationship.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really weird when you say it like that. Like as I sat here and listened to you explain it, I was like, that's just such a weird concept for a game.
Well,
But it works so well.
yeah. So let's discuss like our 5 little categories.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Ease of setup and teardown.
Yeah, this one is really easy.
Super easy.
Yeah, the box it has a really pretty box. And
Very modern.
Yeah, it's different because most boxes you pull the top off. This one like slides out like, I don't know, it's like a little nested box inside. But I don't know how to explain it. It's cool.
Like a DVD would slide out from a DVD,
like with like the paper wrapping around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. So that's really cool. But inside the box, it has a ton of dividers, and that's where everything goes. Mm-hmm. You always know where the stuff is. It's got some plastic containers to put all your markers in it, mm-hmm. and it has little card holders, which are really nice. We put your cards on, obviously.
And I love that it's a 2-player game, which we mentioned. It's only 2-player, and so there's just 2 colors. And it's pink and blue, even though you could play 2 guys or 2 girls if you wanted to. But it's just easy to like see, okay, all the pink stuff is yours, all the blue stuff is yours. And it's just easy visually to see what's going on and where the components go. There's one single board.
Yeah, and like one cool thing about the board is it has places for everything you need in the game. Except the cards in your hand, basically. So
yep.
if you're if it says to draw from this deck, that is on the board. You don't have to set it aside and take up more space on your tiny kitchen table than what is already on the player board.
And I guess we should mention, just to be fair, you do have to set up the scenario you choose to play. But like Christian mentioned, there's dividers for the cards. It's not like you're building a deck, you know. It's not.
No.
It's not involved, but you do have to. I mean, you do have to set up whatever scenario you choose to play, so you have to find the chapters, and but they should already be in the dividers, and so it's maybe takes us 2 minutes to set up.
It's not long at all. I mean, these scenarios are 3 to 4 cards, and it tells you what you're going to do in the chapter. You have your decks played out of scenes, and scenes are how you get points. Those are divided into 3 separate categories. There's spots for those. You have your player little trait tray where you put your traits, which are like quests that you do throughout the game to get you points at the end.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Easy to set up and tear down for sure.
Go ahead.
I'm excited to talk about this next one.
Yeah, you are really... I am too, but I think you are more excited. I really enjoyed how they introduced this game to new players. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Go for it.
How accessible is learning to play? It is so easy to learn how to play, even for someone who does not play games and, dare I say, has never played a game.
This is a good entry point, probably.
There is no gaming lingo to understand, exhausted, readied, all that. There's nothing to understand like that. And I have never experienced this. It has a tutorial. So when you unbox the game, it just said, hey, do the tutorial, don't read the rule book. And so we didn't. We didn't read the rule book. We've used it as a reference since, but describe the tutorial for people, because I'm going to butcher it.
Sure. The tutorial it's a set of cards that come with the game, but instead of them being separate in its own like tutorial deck, they are already like interspersed in the cards you're going to draw. So like the first one might say, please put chapter 1 in the chapter book spot. And then you'd take that tutorial card off and, there's chapter 1. So then you'd actually take it and put it on the spot. And then right under chapter 1, it said, now you want to shuffle this. And so then you'd take the 2 cards and shuffle. It explained exactly what you had to do at the perfect time. And so like one of the cool things that it was like, okay, now you're going to play out the rest of the scene. Play 6 cards until you see the next green card. And then the next green card was the next tutorial one, which then like introduced a new rule to the game. And it walked you through step by step how to do it. It was really cool.
It was very cool. It like broke the game into chunks, and we could play it while we were learning it. And all we had to do was follow exactly what it said on the tutorial. And we've noticed in the rule book that there's instructions for resetting up the tutorial, like if you were to sell this game or if you were to like give it to someone for the weekend, because it is just 2-player. You know, if someone wanted to borrow it, you'd probably want to reset that tutorial back up.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is explained in the directions. So it wasn't quick. I think it said be prepared for 90 to 120 minutes of walking through the tutorial.
Yeah, no, like learning the game and playing in quotes the tutorial is probably longer than an actual game.
Just because, so great.
Yeah, just because there's so many extra cards that you're reading. It's basically like if someone took the rule book to a game and then cut it up into tiny pieces and put it in the actual game you're playing.
Yep.
It's so cool.
I don't understand why more games don't just do this.
Yeah. I'm going to throw you on the spot a little bit. Like, what would be a great game or a game that would greatly benefit from this style of learning to play? It would have to be like a card game. Or maybe there's stuff we can't even think about.
It's hard because to separate how I've learned the rules of everything else, like to think about it in a different way.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to put on the spot.
Yeah, maybe that's too hard of a question, but this tutorial was so good.
Mm-hmm.
It made everything so much easier. It was awesome.
Yes. I've never had a game that had a tutorial like that.
We've had tutorials, right?
Not like that.
No. I guess there's just like easy learn to play ones and stuff, but yeah. No tutorials.
All right. How immersive is the experience?
Yeah, this is probably my favorite category to talk about for this game because it is as immersive as you want it to be.
So what does that mean? It's very D&D, you told me.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know what that...
It's very open-ended. I'm going to look for a card really quick.
Okay. I think that it's very immersive because it allows you to color what's going on. It'll say your characters are arguing about something. And then it'll say in brackets, tell what you're arguing about. So if you and the person you're playing with just sit there and go, I don't know, we're just arguing, and no one's into it, well then, yeah, it's not going to be very immersive. But if you sit there and you decide, well, I'm arguing because I saw a woman's name pop up on your cell phone and I don't know what the text said, or you forgot our anniversary, or, you just put color into it and it's funny and fun. So I think when we played, it was very immersive, maybe with the exception of one time.
Yeah, but it was immersive in a different way because it was the opposite type. Like,
yeah,
you were playing a character that
had some negative traits.
Yeah, it's very hard to deal with.
Yeah,
being on the other end of the relationship.
She was a hard person to date.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it was really fun. You get to I don't know if this is in the rule books or if we just decided to do this, but we named our characters.
Yeah, it said to.
And then you draw a job, so that kind of tells you how you should react to things at times. And then there's features, which are what the other person. I'm butchering this.
What the other person first noticed about you.
Yeah, so the cool thing is I'll draw cards, and it's not what I want to be. It's not
right.
I want to be strong.
Broad-shouldered and tattooed.
Yeah, I don't want to be that. I choose that for Angela's character. Yeah. So, and then she does the same for me. So there are some crazy ones that...
and you get to tell the story of why that drew you to that other character. So, perfect teeth.
Yeah, some of these are all over the place. There's perfect teeth, flowery hat.
What was the one? Bedroom eyes.
There it is, right there. Bedroom
eyes.
I still don't know what that is. If I'm just super tired, you gave this one to me.
Yeah, no. Bedroom eyes doesn't mean you're super tired.
I don't know.
I thought it just means like you have like sexy eyes.
Maybe.
Like you want to bring my character to the
I
bedroom.
guess so. But I know this one's hairy.
Oh, Harry.
So these are all over the place, and they're really fun. Like, one time I drew just awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Some
like,
bad choices.
Features. And so, like, she was stuck with, like,
Shaky hands.
shaky hands, clumsiness, and, like, squeaky voice. And that was what I first noticed and was attracted to in this character Angela was playing.
Well, that tells me a lot about your character, that you were attracted
yeah.
to shaky hands and a
Super nice.
squeaky voice. And yeah.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, it's a lot like D&D because like in D&D you get to do this in any RPG, like the Star Wars one. You get to just make all that stuff up as you go and make your own story for your character. So it's a cool like parallel to that whole genre of games, but in like a nice, easy couples package. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool.
Yes, very immersive, unless you're not into it one night and then you can decide that it's not immersive.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not willing to go that extra step or that extra mile to answer those questions with flavor and interesting, responses, the game becomes very boring.
Yeah, just stupid.
Yeah, because then you're just throwing cards down. So it's like, hey, you look distracted. What's up? And then if you're just like, nothing, I'm just choosing the green so I can get points. And it's just like, well, okay.
Yeah, you need to add color to it.
Yeah.
And in that way, it might be the most immersive game we've ever discussed on the podcast.
Yeah. It is what you make of it.
So, Christian, is it fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, I think you have more fun playing this than I do, but I still am enjoying playing this.
It's fun in a different way than well, let's just take last episode. We talked about how Spirit Island is fun in a challenging way, but not in the classical sense of like laughter and lightheartedness. Mm-hmm. Well, this is fun in the classical sense. You're going to laugh. You're going to feel all the emotions, like tense when your partner's character does something, dramatic. You're going to feel like it's funny how it's kind of just pathetic how like fun it feels to like match responses and get the hearts for that.
Yeah, part of the mechanics is to choose an answer on the card, and you get bonuses if you choose the same answer. Mm-hmm. And you also get the opposite at times if you don't. And so there's always like, I hope she picks B.
Yeah, I hope we read each other correctly.
Because all that ties into how you play the game with your destiny and then your little traits, your quests that you get points for at the end of the game. So it's all really fun and at times frustrating when those things don't happen all the time.
Yeah, because then you're going to feel the emotion of that.
Right.
So I think you have to be playing this with the right person. It's not going to be fun. Well, maybe I shouldn't put words in your mouth, but I think Christian's not going to have fun playing this with a coworker.
Yeah, I don't think I would play this with anyone else.
Yeah.
Maybe just to teach someone the game and then be like, here, take it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to play this with anyone else.
Right. And I probably wouldn't either, although I could see myself like playing this with a close friend, like a close girlfriend, just to have a fun like laugh about it.
Yeah, if it's truly like a romantic comedy as a board game, like you would definitely like have a girls' night and watch a romantic comedy.
Yeah. So
like
I could
J-Lo, Matthew McConaughey movie.
Oh, name that movie. Go.
She's All That.
No, that's way off.
You've Got Mail.
You're going to just keep trying.
The Wedding Planner.
There you go.
There it is. All right.
Those three movies are very similar. Anyway, yeah, you have to be in the mood. You have to be playing with the right person. But you will laugh. You will smile. You will feel the frustration of things going wrong in the relationship. And it will be a fun night.
Yeah, and I would say if you do number 3, if you put in time and effort into making it immersive and playing that character that you create, the fun is just gonna come with that.
Yeah, and like that line of, which can happen in other games as well, not just this one, but of not responding how you would respond, but responding how your character with their traits and occupation and features would respond. Mm-hmm. That's the fun.
Yeah. And there was times where it was always like, I would never do this. Like, the response on the card is like, not awful. Some of them are, I guess, but it's just like, I would never say this or do this, but I just need green points right now. And so I'm just going to choose it. And like the response on your end is like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry. I'm literally just going, for the points, still keeping that fun and immersiveness in it.
So it's very fun. Is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
Do you want me to start?
Sure.
Well, I'll explain that this was a gift.
Yeah, we were given this game from a friend.
So in terms of cost to us, was $0. However, we, looked it up on Amazon. It's at Barnes & Noble. I mean, I'm sure it's at a local game store. It could be ordered through one.
Yeah, we saw it all over the place once we got it. Like, it wasn't on our radar. It's like when you're searching for a car.
You suddenly see the car everywhere.
You see the car everywhere.
So since then, we've looked up the price, and it's, around the $40 range, and I would say it's definitely worth it for that. We have a place for it on our game shelf. Much like Rebellion, it's not a game we're going to play every night, and if we did, it would wear us out. Rebellion would wear us out. This one would just become less and less fun. So we will play it a few times a year, and when we do, it's going to be a great time for all the reasons we mentioned above.
Yeah, I think one of the troubles I had in playing it, we played it I would say for us, a lot in a short period of time to get ready to talk about it tonight.
Yeah.
And to answer some of those questions that were on the cards, that got harder and harder and harder because some of the cards pop up again, which is just how the game goes. But it's like, well, I definitely remember what I said last time, and I can't say the same thing again. So now I have to think of something new, and I'm just like, well, I'm just going to choose orange.
The creativity juices didn't flow as easily.
Yeah.
But so replayability-wise, it does have a massive card selection.
Yep.
There's 113 scenes. There's 38 traits, 60 features, 36 occupations. So there's a lot of different ways those things could play out. Plus, each time you play through this game, you're going to have unique color to the situation. Hopefully, the people that, so the person that you're playing with as well as yourself can add that flavor. Mm-hmm. And there's also scenario packs that have been made in addition to what we, have in our core set. So there's other things you can buy and more out there to explore. And there's destinies that can change, which change what your character wants out of the relationship.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's interesting about this game is like one of us can win, or we can stay together and we both win, but I fulfill my destiny. And so like I double win or something. Like there's a funny mechanic in that, but it makes it like every time you play this game, it's going to be something different.
Yeah.
And that's cool. One thing I'm really looking forward to this game is I think it's a great game, and I just thought of this.
It's breaking news.
Breaking news. Well, like we do this podcast and we talk about it on here because like we are hoping there are other people like us out there who are in a relationship and we play games. We know that they're out there because you guys talk to us.
Thank you for talking to us.
On Instagram and email and stuff like that. But like if you're interested at all, I think this is like the perfect... It might be one of the perfect first games because you have to play it with your significant other. It's going to be what you make of it. And like I'm looking forward to like not renting this game, borrowing it to people.
Yeah,
So
like lending it to them so they can play.
So when they're like, so what? You're like, what's the deal with games? You guys always play games. I'm just like, oh, well, here, this is what we like to do. Just take this for a week, play it once or twice, and then let us know. Mm-hmm. It's it could be a good way to get people interested.
So you say like more so than like Rebellion?
Yeah. No one wants that. No one wants me to give them that box, like 8-inch tall box.
No, that's a really good point. I think that because it tends to be a very male-dominated hobby.
It doesn't tend to be. It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say, just speaking from that perspective, if you're a male listening to this and your partner is somewhere on the scale of completely not interested in games to like, well, I'll tolerate it. Mm-hmm. This would be a really good one to bring to the table. And I think it's hard to say because we'd have to rewind time and do our life over again when we first started picking up games after our daughter was born. But this would have been a way different experience than playing the Game of Thrones card game.
Yeah, it really would.
If this is where we would have started.
Yeah.
And then on a surface level, it's fun, but then you can also, the more you play it, realize the strategy beneath it. So I think it could get a lot of females into the board game world.
and guys, you have to you got to let her play sometimes. It's like
yeah.
it's like in our house we may not outwardly fight about movies, but we watch a lot of movies that I like, which you admit you like them too, but mm-hmm. every once in a while you got to throw in a Marriage Story or I can't think of anything else besides that because that's what we most recently
we don't watch
watched.
A lot of romantic comedies, but like dramas, you tend to not really want a drama,
right? But
then I'll ask for one every now and then, and
yeah. So this is like that game. Mm-hmm. It's like it's not Magic the Gathering or Rebellion,
right?
And it may be kind of weird,
but in a super funny way.
Yeah.
This one would be great mixed with alcohol, probably. I mean, drink responsibly.
Yeah. Well, some of the cards talk about that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, can you drive me home tonight? And your partner might say, no, get a cab. And it's like, oh my gosh, fine. I will.
And to that point, maybe we should say, just as a funny side note, the person that bought this for us found it at PAX.
Yeah, he was at PAX South.
And he said the what was it, the booth?
Yeah, the booth.
Was constantly full with lines of people waiting to play this game.
Yeah, packed at PAX. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. I mean, I had heard about the game when he said he bought it for us. I was like, oh yeah, that's the one. I had no idea what it was.
Were you lying?
No. I have been pleasantly surprised with the amount of fun that you could have in this game. So
this is a great Valentine's Day game.
Why?
Well, because you know how there's always this expectation of like a certain cookie cutter experience. Dinner, chocolate, flowers, and all that's great. But like, imagine doing dinner and then coming home and actually having fun with your partner before you have fun.
Whoa! All right,
your partner.
So I don't know how to transition away from that one.
Sorry, was that too much information?
It's fun.
Okay. Yes. All right. Well, when we come back, we'll be talking about what we learned about each other and our marriage.
All right. Well, that was Fog of War.
Nope. Fog of Love.
You know how many times... Okay, I'll just have to say, Angela and I have been talking about this game a lot in the past 2 weeks. And I have called it Fog of War so many times.
Every time.
Yeah, probably like
every time.
99% of the time.
I was very surprised that you said it correctly during the recording.
I know. Yeah, so I apologize for that. That's my computer video gaming, upbringing coming out. Fog of War, but it's Fog of Love.
Very different things.
Yeah, they're opposites.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that our new game we bought, Undaunted Normandy, has Fog of War.
Yeah, there's literally something you can do in that game called Fog of War.
And so...
I'll probably start messing it up there.
Well, then call it the Fog of Love.
Yeah, in World War II.
Okay, guys, we're a little off topic here. Let's rein it in.
Okay, bring it back.
Bring it back to each other. I learned in this game that Christian, he's been holding out on me.
What?
He is creative, and he is a good and funny, hilarious storyteller. And it's interesting because for those of you listening that have context with Christian outside of this podcast, this will make sense. But he's an introvert. He gets comfortable with people he knows and he'll open up and talk. But if you meet him, especially in a massive social situation, yeah, he's already getting anxiety just picturing it. He's not going to talk.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Christian, you want to go to a party? It's like, no. And then as soon as we get there, I'm like, we should probably go.
Yeah, how much time do I have to stand here before I can leave?
Which is really funny. One of the funny things is I think one of your friends was like, it's so fun to listen to Christian actually say words.
Yeah.
And talk more than he normally does.
And I said, yeah, the podcast is his word quota for the week.
Yeah, I do have a word quota for the day.
Okay.
Not like how few can I say. It's like I have to get to a certain point.
Yeah.
In order to pass the day.
So I was just surprised when we opened the game and the tutorial walked us through, said, now describe your character or something like, it was probably more specific than that. But the first instruction to describe, he just jumped right in there. I was a little bit taken aback by how
I think I'm remembering it now because you
were.
threw some like curveball features at me. One, I mean, it was what you drew, so you were and it was just like tattooed, and then I don't remember what the last one was, but it's just like
bedroom eyes. It was bedroom eyes,
and I was like, that is all the opposite of me. So
you better not be you for this game. Yeah, and you know what I found out the other day is that I think we had played it 4 or 5 times, and he has kept a record in the notes section of his phone of all the characters he has made up, their names and their occupation.
Yeah, I'm actually editing it right now because I forgot to put in one of my guys' occupations.
Christian, will you just grace us all with this list of characters you have?
Yeah, so the way that the game unfolds is you get a job and all your features first. So I had maybe way too much fun thinking of names that would go with these features. Mm-hmm. So the first time I was a security guard and I was tattooed and muscular and bedroom eyes. And so his name was Chase Gleason.
Chase.
Yeah. I think that's a perfect name.
And I was Martha Mahoney.
For the first game?
Yeah, she was a politician. You remember her?
Yeah, somehow we stayed together.
Mm-hmm.
And then I jumped, it's not a far stretch here, the second time we played, from a security guard to a police officer. I didn't get promoted. This is a different
character.
So I was Mark McManus, Officer McManus.
Mark McManus.
Yeah, I think that was a good one too.
I don't even remember what mine was.
Yeah, me neither.
I didn't keep notes.
And then this was my favorite one. I was a farmer, and I named him Stephen Jumbles.
Stephen Jumbles, and my girl was named Missy Johansson.
That's true.
And she was a witch.
This scenario was funny because it was like high school sweethearts. Mm-hmm. And so Steven and Misty knew each other since Missy.
Melissa is actually her full
Okay.
Full
we
name.
didn't survive that one, so
Okay, and then who else?
Oh, and then Stephen Jumbles, he was a farmer for Jumbles Jam Farm.
Jumble's Jam Farm.
Yeah. So I had fun with that. And then Matt Matthews was a firefighter. A lot of public service in my
You do. First
occupations.
responders.
Yep.
And a lot of M's.
Yeah,
Matt Mahoney and Mark White.
I had a lot of alliteration, I guess, too, but it was just both M's. Mark McManus and Matt Matthews. I laughed a little too long at Matt Matthews because I thought that was so funny that someone would name their kid Matthew Matthews.
But you made it up.
I know.
It didn't tell you to name
I
your...
was laughing inside so hard.
So I learned he is such a good storyteller.
Oh, man.
Did you learn anything about me, Christian?
No.
I'm talkative as it is.
No, I think maybe not anything new in playing this game, but like something like came up again that we've experienced in previous games where playing the negative traits or the negative aspects of a game, like you're down to clown. You're just like, I'm going all in Stephen Jumbles and what's her name?
Missy for short.
Sure.
Melissa Johansson.
We had opposite traits, which are quests in the game. And so if I wanted to get points in one area, you always wanted to get points in the exact opposite area, which would then, at times, cancel mine out. Mm-hmm. And vice versa, mine to yours. And so, like, we got nowhere in this scenario. And it was
frustrating.
Yeah, and you played it well.
I don't think I did. I think I played...
Well, you played the character well.
You
didn't play the game well.
Yeah, I played very true to her traits, but I think this is dawning on me. After the 4th or 5th playthrough, you realize, okay, not only is this game fun on a surface level, but it is like an actual relationship because you're going to have to compromise. Yes, your character has traits and your partner's character has traits, and those are secret, but eventually, depending on your answers and responses, you kind of can clue in to what their traits are. So when at all possible, you've got to compromise to preserve the relationship. So I was playing wicked Melissa Johansson.
Yeah, Stephen Jumbles, man.
Poor farmer.
You hurt him bad.
Yeah. Well, I played her personality traits well, but it ended up killing our destinies. And I think it is like an actual relationship in that respect. Now, at that point, we hadn't unlocked the ability to break up with each other.
Yeah, that came in a later scenario.
Yeah.
It definitely would have happened in that one, I think.
Yes, if we had the opportunity.
Yeah. Which I don't know. Like, I feel like doing that would be so anticlimactic.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you feel about
I guess that's in life, too. Like, you go through a relationship and it's like, hey, I'm done.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, what did I do for the last 2 years?
This is getting heavy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's the same thing it's a relationship in a box.
Yep, it is. So this is it has layers. It's like an onion. You can enjoy it for the surface level. And if you want to, you can enjoy it for how deep it goes.
Yeah, it's wild. All right, so that is Fog of Love.
Fog of Love. You said it right. Good job.
There it is. We had a lot of fun playing this game, unpacking the layers of life in this game.
Yes, and we hope that you have fun playing it.
Yeah, it's definitely one that we would recommend, and we saved this one for this week specifically.
For sure,
because
it's Valentine's.
It's all about relationships.
It's love.
Yep, it was really fun and new, unique game to play.
All right, so this week, episode,
sure.
We are going to ask, what is your favorite strictly two-player game, like this one was, and who do you play it with?
There you go.
Or does that even matter? Maybe in the game that's strictly two-player that you play, who you play it with doesn't matter. But in this one, it very much matters.
This one definitely does, yeah.
So, I'm curious.
Yeah, we'd like to know your favorite 2-player game. And I got to just say, guys, no one wrote us in from the last episode.
It just hurts my heart. You know what? That hurts my heart on Valentine's Day.
Oh my gosh, you ruined it.
Should I guilt trip people?
I think we wanted to know, like, what would you want to be the champion of?
Yeah.
And if we missed a message from someone, we apologize, but we didn't see anything come through.
Yes.
We always love to hear from you guys, whether it's about the question in the episode, whether you just want to know something about us. What's your favorite game? What game you're playing this week? What games we're playing? We're happy to answer whatever. So, and we'd also want to know, maybe, what are you going to do on Valentine's Day for those of you who are in a relationship?
Yeah, are you trying to get ideas?
No, I know what we're doing. I'm good. I'm totally good. But if you can email me by tomorrow, that would be great.
Oh, man. And if you'd be so kind to review us and give us a rating.
Yeah, we always enjoy those. And again, we love hearing from all the listeners out there. We thank you for listening. As always, we'll catch you next time.
Roses are red, violets are blue. We love games.
We hope you do too.
Good job.
Yay.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Married and Bored podcast. And guess what? We have a website where you can listen to podcast episodes and so much more. Find us at marriedandbored.com, or you can email us at hello@marriedandbored.com, or follow us on Instagram @marriedandbored. Music in this episode is by Joseph McDade. See you next time.
Welcome to Jamble's Jam Farm, where you can find the most delicious jellies, jams, and preserves this side of the Mississippi River.